Hi there, Marta. So, another set of essays. Let's take a look at what you've done today. The first one is a letter to your foreign friend. So, let's see what you said. Dear Lindsay, how are you? I am writing you in relation to your holiday in Spain. Firstly, I would like to apologize myself because you told me that you would like to come over to visit me on the 21st of July, but I am not going to be in La Coruña. I have to leave my hometown because I have a marketing congress in Barcelona from 19th until 25th of July. Okay, there's a lot here I like. You've developed it. You've, given information. Have apologized. You've explained that you're going to be busy. So you've done a lot of the things that you're supposed to do. Now let's talk about some of the things that need to be fixed here. First of all, it's great that you started with how are you because it is an informal letter, and so that's absolutely appropriate. But I wouldn't have put it in its own separate paragraph. I would have just attached this to that, okay? So put these together, the how are you, with the following paragraph. Now, what happened in the paragraph that followed is some of the language is a little too formal. So this, for example, I'm writing to you in relation to your holiday in Spain. That's something we would write in a formal letter. So in a letter to your friend, it doesn't quite work. And the same thing here. I would like to apologize. It's also rather formal. Now, grammatically, we don't say apologize myself. But just I would like to apologize. It does have a bit of a formal feel. So what I want to do is make it less formal, make it informal, okay? So let's try it like this. Dear Lindsay, how are you? I'm writing to you about your upcoming trip to Spain. I really want to tell you how sorry I am because although you told me you plan to come to visit me on the 21st of July, I am not going to be in La Coruña. Okay. And then the rest of it was fine. So do you see how my tone is a little more conversational, a little more friendly, a little more familiar than what you wrote? All right. So, let's see. Secondly, I would like to ask you if you could do some changes in your schedule, because if you could go to visit the south of Spain and then come to the north, it would be amazing, because during the days that I will be in Barcelona, you will be visiting Sevilla and Córdoba, and for the time that you will finish your journey there, I will be back at my city to wait for you. Okay, now what happened here is you've given some alternate suggestions, and that's really important. That's good. But some of the grammar is a little off here, so that's what I want to work on. It's a really very long sentence, okay? Take a look at it. Look where it starts and where it ends. Here it is. So, check it out. Look. Do you see it? It starts here at the beginning and ends here where you say you. So that's like, that goes into the fifth line, so it's really too long. Let's try it again, okay? So what are you suggesting? You're saying that I guess you live in the north, but maybe Lindsay could go to the south and then come to meet you? All right, so let's see how you could have said that a little differently. Okay. Also, one more thing before we do that. Remember that this language, I would like, it's a little formal, all right? This is what we write in formal letters when we're trying to ask somebody for something. But in an informal letter, we do it a little differently, okay? So let's go back to this again and then say, secondly, I was wondering if you could make some changes in your schedule, like visiting the south of Spain and then coming north to see me. Full stop. Then you could have added this. You could have said, this way, while I am in Barcelona, you could visit Seville and Cordoba, and then come to the north when I will have returned. So something like that, okay? It seems to me that if you could change the dates, it would be perfect, because I will be starting my holidays and we would enjoy and spend more time together than if I were working. Okay? That was really good, and that's some complicated grammar you've got there. You did a good job with it. You just had a little problem here. This was supposed to be were, all right? So, I look forward to hearing back from you. Yours sincerely, Marta. Okay, that's fine. Again, it feels a little formal. This, I look forward to hearing back from you, is what we write in a lot of these formal letters. You could have said something a little more friendly. Maybe something like, I really can't wait to see you. You could have apologized again. That would have been a good idea because you apologized once, but you could have done it in the end in your closing. So just something like, once again, I'm really sorry about this inconvenience, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Lots of love, talk soon, etc. Okay, so good job overall with that, all right? Let's take a look now at your task 2 about successful countries with average working time. Experts throughout both the developing and developed ED world have debated whether countries with a long average working time or countries which do not have a long working time have more economically successful. Okay, this should be are more economically successful or have more economic success. Okay, so the adjective and then the noun. This lesson will discuss both sides using examples from the United States and Sweden as well as Harvard University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, so that's very nice, but there's one problem here if you're aiming for a band 7. You didn't answer this. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And remember that for a band 7, one of the things you need to do is make sure that your position is clear throughout your answer. And by throughout, we mean from the beginning to the end. And to make it clear from the beginning, it needs to be clear in your introduction. So let's move on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that the United States is one of the most important and successful economies, IES, in the world, and it is right to say that nowadays they use a model where Americans are working long hours to get more money, and the government is supporting this because it is a reason to make economies stronger and succeed. All right, is rather long again. Look, it's again one of those sentences that goes into the 5th line. It's really just too long. You need to separate these ideas into smaller chunks so that they're more readable, okay? They're more understandable. Also, this last part here really didn't make a whole lot of sense. What does that mean? It's a reason to make economies stronger and succeed. Can't really say that that idea was clear. Okay, the central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the companies want, with no S, to increase their sales and increase the size of the company in contrast to, not in contrast, in comparison with their competitors, because as a result they are far more important and they will have more money. That means that they are going to be in a better position in the market. Okay, take a look. Now here, look, again, it goes into your 4th line. So, just I want you to shrink some of these sentences down a little bit, all right? Plus, what the reason for that is that basically sentences kind of lose meaning, and it's easy to kind of lose hold of the grammar when you do that. And so I want you to kind of break these up into more manageable parts, okay? So let's try it. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, companies want to increase their sales and the size of the company compared to their competitors. Full stop. This is because they will become more important, have more money, which means a better position in the market. Okay, I broke it into 2 more manageable sentences. Secondly, in a world where the capitalism, you don't have to say the capitalism system, you could have just said where capitalism is on the top. This isn't really super accurate, is on the top. What does that really mean? I think you mean where capitalism is paramount, is secondly, in a world where capitalism is a priority, or capitalism is I'm not really sure what else you could have said here, but I don't think you mean on the top. I'll have to ask you to think of a couple of different words instead of on the top. The majority of people think such as their companies which they work for. Workers believes that long working hours is the way to be happy, rich, and have a better lifestyle. Something's happening with the grammar here. What do you mean, think such as their companies? That's a little strange. I think you mean the majority of people think like their companies do, okay, where long working hours is the way to be happy, rich, and have a better lifestyle. For example, recent empirical research by Harvard University demonstrated that almost all the bankers prefer working, ing, long shifts and earn an important amount of money to buy all the things that they like, such as a nice house, car, luxury holidays, expensive goods, etc., then have a modest lifestyle with more free time to enjoy with their families or friends. Therefore, it is not consecutively, that's the wrong word. You want to say, therefore, it is clear that although some economic models based on capitalism are destined to increase the hours at work and increase the sales of profits. All right, I want to make sure here, Marta, that you're talking about the country's economic success and not the businessman, not the individual citizen, because this is what it's talking about. Countries are more economically successful, not the individuals within the country. So make sure that this is what you're focusing on. Otherwise, it's going to feel somewhat off topic, okay? Yeah, because here you talked about countries, you talked about companies, and then here you talked about people. So there really wasn't much about the country itself, okay? And that's what we're looking at, kind of more holistically at the country, not the business owners and not the people working for the companies. Okay. So let's move on. On the other hand, although there is a case of Sweden which do not believe in a model of work long hours to have a succeed economy, and even Sweden companies favoring the work-life balance at the same time that they benefiting themselves, doing better products and more efficient production lines, the impact of this balanced model between work and personal life cannot be overstated. Okay, so a lot happening in this sentence here. First of all, let's look at the length of it. Check it out. How long is that? It's gone again into your fifth line. So it's really, really too long. I'm going to ask you again to break it up. Part of the problem is it became completely incoherent and I didn't know what you were talking about. The other thing happening is here, I'm glad that you're using the template and you're following this, this example where it says in the template, although there was a case for blah, 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 but you need to be able to use it correctly. So when you use that, you need to be able to refer to the previous paragraph, some you've already talked about, but then say, so while there is a case for people and companies being attracted to more money, which is earned through longer working hours, and then you say what the next paragraph is about. The importance of how detrimental long working hours is cannot be overstated. So that's how you have to do it. But this really lost me. I mean, you'd never mentioned Sweden before, so seeing it here was really rather strange. Okay? And then you had a lot of grammatical errors in this sentence. So let's see. You can't say Sweden which do not believe, but Sweden which does not believe in a model of long working hours to have a successful economy. And even Swedish, ISH, companies favoring the work-life balance. At the same time, they benefit from creating better products and more efficient production lines, comma, the impact of this model between work and personal life, no comma here, cannot be overstated. So I tried to kind of fix some of those major errors, but still grammatically it's got a lot of problems. All right, the first thing you need to do is break it up into the pieces that I suggested. All right, let's move on. This is largely because new technologies are helping companies to improve production lines and the quality of products at the same time. Not that it helps, so that income is increased, and it also helps workers to have this balance between work and life, comma, becoming more efficient in their roles at work. For example, a recent study by the Swedish government has shown that 80% of the companies that have this balance model between work and life are successful, whether we speak about incomes or effectiveness of workers. Consistent with this line of thinking is that the government of Sweden is supporting financially all those companies that have established this model. Okay. Let's move on to your conclusion, then we'll talk about that paragraph a little bit. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although the capitalist system provides, with an S, an invaluable economic growth for America, the model of Sweden, where there is a balance between work and life, is the perfect system. Get rid of this. Is the perfect system that allows you to have the time to enjoy the money that you earn and does not affect economic growth. It is predicted that this model of balance between work and life, not dash, will increasingly grow in importance in other countries. Okay, so I was really focused on some of these things here with the coherence, with making sure I understood what you were trying to say, and also trying to fix some of the grammar. I do want to read this over again to see how on topic you were. So let's look at it for a minute. So it seems to me here that, again, you were talking a lot about the companies. You were also talking about work-life balance. So you didn't really talk about the country, like the government of the country. Okay. And then, let's see. Here, I didn't really care for this ending in this paragraph, consistent with this line of thinking, so that the government of Sweden is supporting financially all those companies that have established this model. I don't really think this sentence fits here, okay? I don't really think it fits. It should have been your last sentence, which really just kind of wrapped up everything. And all of a sudden, in that last sentence, you're presenting a new argument, and I didn't really think it fit here. So I would have taken that out and then just said something that went back to this initial sentence. So, consequently, it is clear that fewer hours are required in order to be economically successful. All right, something like that. Okay, let's see. I think this was okay. Here you talked about America as a country, you talked about Sweden as a country, so that's fine. Here you were focusing on the country as a whole rather than just, the individual company or the individual worker. So that was fine. I'm seeing an improvement in this set of essays over your first set, so that's great news. You're doing better. I want to see you kind of try to apply some of the things that we're talking about today, especially in terms of your sentences, breaking them down a little bit into smaller, more manageable pieces, and then just getting control of the grammar. Okay? So go ahead and do that in the next set. Let's see them. I'm looking forward to it. Okay? Good luck, Marta.